What's up, bottom feeder? Here we are again with the KCI deck, which I will be referring to as the KitCat deck. Because, you know, in the days of yore, in Legacy, combo decks used to have names about breakfast. And we have a cat, so it seems funny to me. But today we are playing a faster version, because I want to have a deck that wins on turn 4. How to do that? Will I succeed in doing that? Let's find out. Okay, so before we start the video, a very important disclaimer. In Italy, every city basically has a Lega Pauper of the city. And the strongest one is probably Lega Pauper Pisa. But unfortunately, Lega Pauper Pisa has evil inside of it, because there are two sides of Lega Pauper Pisa. The light Lega Pauper Pisa, which of course I root for, and the dark Lega Pauper Pisa. And in one of my previous videos, I said something like, Big Boy from Pisa is a very good player from Pisa. And turns out, I was not aware, turns out he is part of the dark Lega Pauper Pisa. And I'm so sorry for that, because I encourage you to not take part in the evilness of the dark Lega Pauper Pisa. So I'm sorry to all of my fans, I'm sorry to Churlo and all the people from light Lega Pauper Pisa. Now, let's move on with the video. Okay, so, you know, if you saw my previous video about this deck, you know what's that about. The functioning is Ashnod Altar, sacrifice the cat sacrifice the food, and basically is like the altar sacrifice the food, right? So it's basically build your own Krark-Clan Ironworks, and you cycle the eggs and you ping for one, and eventually you kill them. And Myr Retriever grabs back more foods, so it's like having 18 foods. And Clockwork Fox is 1 mana draw 2 once you have an altar out. Once you have an empty deck, or rather a deck with just one non-Lembas card, you can cycle looping Lembas. They shuffle back into your library in response to the draw ability, and you ping them for infinite damage. They lose life, so they cannot prevent. And I released this video, and the deck took a little bit of steam. A lot of people start to experiment with this deck, and most importantly, Taddy started working on the deck. So he contacted him, we talked about the deck, and he made some 5-0s with the deck, and it was instrumental in some of the developments of this deck. Everybody playing this deck basically started cutting Tolarian wins. At first, I did that too. And in place of Tolarian wins, we started playing cash grab, because with Malevolent Rumble type cards, you find the altar and you mill the cat. The problem is, in my opinion, if you do that, those cards are not very good during the combo. So the deck was more consistent, but slow. So you start the combo, you ping them for 6 with the cat, and then pass on turn 4, and then on turn 5 you do it again, and you pass, and then you pass, and then you pass, and eventually you kill on turn 6, 7, 8, which is good versus mid-range decks, of course, but it's not very good versus the faster decks. So most importantly, Mono Red Madness, which is one of the most played decks. In my opinion, if you want to go to Paupergeddon, you should have a good plan for Mono Red Madness, because it's one of the most played decks, maybe one of the best decks, I'm not sure about that, but the most played decks. Now I'm trying to make the deck faster again, because I want to race a little bit. How to do that? Tolarian wins are back on the menu. And what about the cash grab to find the Cauldron Familiar? Well, okay. Ashnod Altar is the easier part to find, because Ancient Styrics look for 5 cards and you can take the altar. Cauldron Familiar, it's harder, because you just have Malevolent Rumble and the cycling of the foods to find that. But Molten Gatekeeper is an idea that I had with Marzaboi and with Taddy. It's basically like another Cauldron Familiar, because maybe you don't even need the cat, right? You have Ashnod Altar, double Myr Retriever, Molten Gatekeeper, do infinite damage. So it's kinda like having 6 Cauldron Familiars. Okay, and then how to support all those colors. In the previous iteration, I had 18 lands, which turned out to be a little too many, and I had a mana base with many partings, because many partings 1 mana, you search a basic land, so it fixes your mana and makes a food, and that's great, because the food means 2 mana and a ping, which is great. But problem is, if you do that, you need to play 1 black mana at least, 1 swamp for the Cauldron Familiar, 1 blue mana for Tolarian wins, 1 red mana for the red cards and stuff like that. It's harder to do that, I think. 3 colors is just a stretch, 4 or 5 colors, impossible. So I implemented what I will refer to as the Italian mana base, or the Marza base, because that's something that Marzaboi, which is the GOAT of the Dredge deck, brought into Pauper. So basically you play Khalni Gardens and the Springleaf Drum type lands. As long as you have creatures that you don't need to block or attack, those are 5 color lands. In the previous iteration, I had 3 swamps and 4 many partings, so 7 black mana, plus of course golden egg. And now I have 7 drumlands, right? So it's kind of the same. And many partings provides a boost on mana, plus 2 mana. But the same is true for Khalni Garden, and Khalni Garden is a tapped land as much as many partings, because you spend 1 mana to find an untapped land, or you play the top land and it's basically the same. But this is a little bit better sometimes, because first of all, more lands means when you need a land with your Rumble and Steerings, it's actually easier to find one, because sometimes you keep 1 landers, you go Steerings, and you don't find lands, but you find many partings, and well, nice joke, but now I lose the game. And at the same time, sometimes, as I said, you don't have the cat, you just go for the altar, you start sacrificing some of your creatures, and you bring back the gatekeeper and stuff like that. In that case, having a plant is actually better than the food. The plant can block, the food can gain life, yeah, that's true, to gain some time, but you have so many foods that when you are losing and you need to take time, you have enough food to gain life. So you don't need other foods, because usually you run out of mana before you run out of foods. The plant, it's better because maybe you block with the plant, you sacrifice it with the altar, gain 2 life with your Lembas, and you take another turn, so you draw more cards and stuff like that. Okay, so there's something to be said about Tolarian wins. The point is, you start comboing out, and eventually you cycle all the artifacts and all the colored cards you cannot cycle, so because you usually don't have a lot of colored mana, so you Tolarian wins away like 7, 8, 9 cards, you draw 8 fresh cards, and you start pinging them again with foods and stuff like that. There's another card that I am interested in trying, which is Drafna's Restoration, which is a very cool card from Antiquities. 1 blue mana, you choose any number of target artifacts in your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard, but that's not really relevant, and you put them back on top of your deck in the order that you choose. So basically this is like 1 mana, deal 10 to your opponent once you have your engine going, because you cycle the Myr Retrievers, the Fox. With the last food in hand, you cast Drafna's Restoration, and then you cycle the last food in hand, so you start drawing back all the foods and you ping them again. Also, that could net mana, because if you stack a lot of nutrient blocks and Myr into nutrient blocks, you can generate mana, or even cards, because maybe you stack your deck with 3 nutrient blocks, 3 foxes, and 2 Myr Retrievers, and every fox is +1 card, so you go deeper into the deck. Which one is better? This one doesn't use the graveyard, this one does, but that's not really relevant because we just need this card in faster matchups. In the slower matchups, I could easily side this one out and just grind my way to the bottom of the deck, I think. And in the faster matchups, for example, Mono Red Madness, this is probably easier to make work because you just ping them for like 8, then you cast this card and you ping them again. And if you don't win, you gain like 16 life points, and at that point, I think it's pretty easy to survive and then win next turn. So, which one is better? I'm not sure. Today, I'm gonna try Tolarian wins and see how it goes. Something else to be said, thanks to Taddy, we worked a lot on the sideboard, and so Weather the Storm, it's there to provide a better way to beat Mono Red Madness, because you just gain a lot of life in place of Tolarian wins, and then you easily win. Krark-Clan Shaman, it's your anti-aggro card. There are some things that could be played. In the first iteration, I had Snuff Out, but I think that's worse than the 2 mana Fog with Flashback, because that one gives you 2 turns, you can mill with Rumble. But probably Shaman, it's even better, because it's also good versus While the Fox does nothing versus Spy. So this time I'm just playing 2 Nile Spellbomb, because the deck I want Nile Spellbombs the most is Spy, and I have Krark-Clan Shaman. I want to try Recommission. 2 mana, reanimate an artifact or creature. I played Pyroblast or Duress. I think this could be a better Duress. If they counter the altar, which is basically what you care about, you can reanimate it, and at that point it's kinda like a Duress. It's even better sometimes because maybe they have 2 annuls, so if you have Duress and altar, it does nothing, while if you have Recommission, you Ashnod altar, they counter it, you reanimate it, and you beat the card. Also, once you have your combo going, Duress is a dead card, right? Recommission is not, because you can just reanimate for 2 mana an egg or a fox. It's basically another cycle. Of course, it costs white mana, so it's less good than, say, an instant ramen. Still better than a useless Duress. Something else that could be done is to play Chrysalis, because Chrysalis, we all know it's great versus the blue decks. I can see that, and you can take that one with Ancient Steerings. I think it's pretty good. Maybe we could try to cut 2 Pyroblasts and 2 Spell Bombs, I don't know, stuff like that, and play Chrysalis. You know what, I kind of convinced myself, so I want to play Writhing Chrysalis. Okay, so I am probably going to do like this. Not sure if that's correct. Probably that I could probably cut 1 Weather the Storm and put back, I don't know, I want to try like this, whatever. Let's see how it goes. Sorry, small addition to the video because I forgot to mention 2 things and I think they are important. First of all, the Italian mana base was suggested to me by my friend Vittorio. He says, okay, if we have this lands, you can make colored mana once the familiar goes back into play. And I was like, yeah, but how do you play the cat? And also you need your lands to cast Ancient Steerings. But eventually I realized he was right, because it's not like we are playing those lands in place of forests, right? We are playing those lands in place of many partings and off-color lands. And partings and off-color lands doesn't really do anything if you don't have a forest anyway. So props to him. Thank you for helping me develop this concept. Also, Taddy99, which I mentioned a lot during this video, did a pretty good job refining a different list. He doesn't play Tolarian Winds, he doesn't have the Italian mana base, it's a Jund version, he has a mid-range plan in the sideboard. It's a pretty good list, but it's different than mine, and he wrote a sideboard guide. I will put the link in the description if you want to check that out. Okay, welcome to match number 1. We are on the play, which is very good, and this end is mulligan, unfortunately. And this end is a grudgingly keep. Yeah, let's put back this one, I think. Okay, so we basically need a cat and some foods now. Okay, blue mana means probably... yeah, I don't think I need to be all that fast. So I can go... Yeah, if they counter this one, okay. Okay, so on turn 3 I'm gonna play the Ashnod Altar if they are tapped out. I'm just gonna pass. Okay, so I don't even need the foods that bad, because I can just cycle all the things. Okay, I'm not gonna play Ashnod Altar into a counter spell. I'm gonna play a Clockwork Works. If they counter it, next turn I'm gonna play the Ashnod Altar. I don't think it's likely they have 2 counter spells in like 10 cards. So this is Mono Blue Terror, and we already knew that. Question is, do we want to play around Spell Pierce next turn? Or for Spike even? Okay, so they have Delver of Secrets, and you know, I think I'm not gonna jam my Ashnod Altar. I think I'm just gonna attack with the Fox and chill. It's very likely they have counters or stuff like that. I could try to play Ashnod Altar next turn, so I don't lose to Spell Pierce, and if it gets countered, I can try to Tolarian Winds away all the cards in my hand and draw like 3-4 fresh cards. Let's see. But something it's important to note is our deck can grind really well, especially if we find a cat. If we... Okay, so they do have 4 Spike, which probably means no Spell Pierce. We can grind a little bit. So if they don't play creatures, I continue to attack with my Fox. Okay, so not anymore. Yeah, Delver it's harder because I cannot block that one, and they are representing a counter spell. Another land, it's awful. And yeah, I think the play here is to play the Ashnod Altar. I play the Ashnod Altar, and they are gonna counter it. Then they are gonna attack. I block with the Fox, and I cycle. Very nice. Do we start the chain? Probably we just pass, right? Because of course I want to do all the things once I have all my mana open. Okay, nice. If they attack, I'm not even gonna block. Having the Fox survive means 2 more mana. 2 more mana means another Tolarian Winds. So they counter. Basically, at this point, the only thing they could really counter is the Tolarian Winds, right? Because cycles themselves. I need a cat, but I think I have a lot of time to find one. So they are gonna flip the Delver, of course, because they brainstorm. Okay, Deep Analysis is not a great card, because if they play Deep Analysis, they tap out, and they don't have a Top Scour, because chances are... Oh, but they shuffle away the Deep Analysis. Okay, nice. So we don't know the content of the Rents. They have 3 blue mana. It seems like they don't have a counter spell in hand. Of course, they could have drawn 1. Okay, I don't die if I take 8 and then 8 next turn, so I'm gonna take all the damage. Next turn, I'm gonna cycle my Fox, Michael J. Fox. Okay, this one will be blocking. Okay, I think I attack and play the Molten Gatekeeper. And they go to 14. I play the Molten Gatekeeper, and again, maybe I just pass the turn. No, maybe this problem is, if I pass the turn, next turn I need to achieve all the combo. While if I attempt the combo this turn and I don't succeed, then, you know, I can try again next turn. So I'm probably going to do that. My opponent is gonna draw one card, but I don't think it's all that relevant because they have just one counter spell up. Okay, Ramen could be good, but we still need a cat. Draw one card. And also, I could cycle some of... Okay, this is pretty good, I think. Gonna play... No, I don't want another land. Yeah, another instant Ramen. Do I want to play a forest is the question, because more lands means I probably do. This way, I play around a double for spike, which is unlikely, but... And I'm not gonna Molten Gatekeeper, because I much rather discard it with Tolarian Winds. And at the end of the turn, I'm gonna attempt a Tolarian Winds, maybe? Not sure, probably, no, probably I'm just gonna cash in my Lembas, because having another Lembas in the deck, it's good, because I would like to draw a Lembas. So I'm at 15, yeah, I'm gonna take it, go to 4 life points. And I was about to say, casting the Molten Gatekeeper is not even that good, because they don't have removal spells. So if I Tolarian Winds it away, I draw another card, then I reanimate for just 1 mana, and they cannot counter it. Strictly better in this matchup to do just the Tolarian Winds before that. Okay, now I'm gonna cash in the Lembas. Gain 3 life. Go to 7. Draw a card. Not very good. I am gonna... if I Tolarian Winds now... Let's try a Tolarian Winds. Tap this one. Might as well sacrifice it. Tolarian Winds. Okay, this is nice, but not perfect. And let's try a Malevolent Rumble and hope we find a cat. No cat to be seen. So let's take the Lembas. And now we are gonna take black mana and we are gonna sacrifice the fox. Draw some cards. Still no cat. Okay, this is not a cat. This is also not a cat. Yeah, I think we lose now. Yeah, probably. They counter this one and we lost. No, they don't counter this one. So we play a land. We need to block and gain some life so we can play a Lembas. And this is still not a cat. Again, not a cat. Next time we are gonna block, go to 1, right? Because we go to 10, no, go to 2. Okay, block the Cryptic Serpent and we lose the game. Okay, now we are gonna play the Chrysalis. We are gonna cut the Tolarian Winds. We are gonna play the Recognition, I think. We are gonna cut some foxes. Molten Gatekeeper is still good, and I'm gonna do 2 instant Ramen and 1 Myr Retriever, I think. Myr Retriever is good though, because it can block. No, maybe just 2 Recognition. Let's try like this. Okay. Okay, I would like to start, and I think this is a good end. We are gonna rumble on turn 2. Hope they don't have Force Spike, and if they do, they do. But I'm not gonna play for Spike. The best way to lose to Force Spike. You play around it and they gain some time and maybe they don't even have the card. Okay, so no Force Spike for them. And can we have a cat this time? No, we can't. Okay. Myr Retriever. Myr Retriever is probably better than the eggs because I could just sacrifice the Myr Retriever to get back an egg if I need to. I don't think they're gonna something against the graveyard. So I think Myr Retriever is the better option now. Next turn, okay, they ponder. If they play the ponder, I'm gonna slam the altar. And if they have Force Spike, but I'm gonna play it. And I hope we can find a Molten Gatekeeper or... yeah. Oh, but I don't lose to Force Spike now because I have Eldrazi's Spawn. I don't think they play Spell Pierce. But they could have Annul, of course. But no way I could beat Annul with this hand. So if they have it, they have it. Let's pass the turn. No need to rush things. Okay, take 3. On my turn, I'm gonna play my land, play my Lembas in search for the cat or the Molten Gatekeeper. Yeah, let's leave this one up because it's black mana for my cat. If I need it. If I take the Lembas, I scry 1 and draw. If I put the Lembas back and I golden egg, I basically do the same, but I have 1 less card in hand, so one random card in hand instead of an egg. So it's probably better to do like this. It's comparable. No. Nope. apparently it's impossible to find cats, but maybe I should rewatch the previous game, because maybe there was a point in which I could have just tried to go for the Myr Retriever loop with Molten Gatekeeper. For sure I had the Molten Gatekeeper in the graveyard. I had 2 Myr Retrievers? I don't remember, I don't think so, but even then they probably had counterspell, so going for the Myr loop, I don't think it's gonna work anyways. So if I found the cat, then I less soft to counterspell. I need them to counter one of my Myrs. I don't think they're gonna counter the Myrs because they don't seem prone to counter stuff against me. If I don't play the Chrysalis now, I could just play the Myr. Yeah, let's try. I play the Myr. If they don't counter it, I just sacrifice it. I take back Golden Egg and play Writhing Chrysalis. They are gonna counter it probably, but I make more mana and maybe, and I just say maybe, I will find something next turn because I have a lot of mana. In Chrysalis, even if they counter, it's +4 mana because my tokens are stronger than other people tokens once I have an altar out. And again, I can gain some time with these Lembas. They probably have a counterspell, because then why are you thinking so hard? Do I go for the Chrysalis? Yeah, I think so. No need to counter this one. Yeah, I think it's better to counter the Eldrazi Spawn. The Eldrazi Spawn is better if the Chrysalis resolve, but I don't think the Chrysalis is gonna resolve. They counter it. I don't think I need to play the Golden Egg now. Yeah, let's just... This thing, it's probably going to flip. I'm going to 5. I can gain 6 life next turn, so basically I fog and attack. Eventually, I hope to draw... Okay, so they have 2 cards in hand. They play Forest, Island, sorry. And they have 4 cards in hand. One is Sleep of the Dead, which does nothing against my combo. And one is an Island, so 2 cards in hand, really. I basically just need to find something before I lose to these Delvers. Okay, let's see how it goes. Crack a Lembas at the end of turn, but... Okay, just 1 card in hand. I could play the Clockwork Fox and sacrifice it, but they draw 1 card. No, I think it's... Yeah, I think I play my Golden Egg, because if I find a cat, I can go off this turn. And I play the Clockwork Fox. Yeah, for Spike does nothing. I'm gonna sacrifice a plant, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna pay. Yeah, no point in doing anything else now. On their turn, I'm gonna block the Tolarian Terror, and they have no cards in hand. They just have Sleep of the Dead, which does nothing. They can tap 2 creatures, but it's pointless. And on their turn, I'm gonna block this one, sacrifice the creature that I used to block, and cash in the Lembas, so I go to 2 life points. And then I have 3, 5, 7 draws against their empty hand, basically. Another one. Okay, so they're empty-handed. They can tap this one, but it does nothing. Yeah, okay. Tap the Eldrazi Spawn. This turn, I need to make things happen. Probably going to happen because I'm gonna draw a million cards. Then, sacrifice this one with the altar. Cash in the Lembas. So I have 1 more Lembas in the deck, which is better than a random draw at this point because I have a lot of mana. I think it's likely we are gonna win this game, but let's see. This doesn't work. So make 2 mana, draw some cards. They are tapped out, so they are gonna draw some cards, but okay, nice, and we won. Oh, but we cannot make colored mana, so we need to play this one first and make red mana by tapping this one, and then I sacrifice, get back the Clockwork Fox, play Molten Gatekeeper, and now I do the loop. And as I said in the intro of the video, Molten Gatekeeper, sometimes it's just a cat, right? Because I don't need a cat if I have this loop. Sometimes. It's not always gonna work, but sometimes it does. So, do they concede? No, they're not going to concede, it seems. Okay, nice. Thank you, opponent. Do we want to have the Chrysalis against an opponent which showed us the tapping... how's it called? Sleep of the Dead? Okay, so Taddy... said to me to bring in the Krark-Clan Shamans, because you go Chrysalis, you stole the board a little bit, and then you Krark-Clan Shaman away all the serpents, and eventually you win. I'm not sure if I like this plan. It could work. I could also cut the Chrysalis, play Recommission again. Yeah, but Chrysalis, it's a must counter, basically. I'm not sure. I could see an argument for put in the Krark-Clan Shaman in, but I'm gonna, and it's probably correct, but I want to try like this. Okay, and so here you see the Italian mana base doing work, because I have 2 Khalni Gardens, a Survivor Encampment, so basically all 5 colors. Not gonna play my untapped land and nutrient block into a Force Spike. Yeah, you can Brainstorm. And Brainstorm on turn 1 is honestly the least scary card they could play, because it means they don't have a second land drop. They have a not so great hand, and they are gonna shuffle. Okay, do like this. And they also milled a Cryptic Serpent, so they are a little bit flooded with creatures. Okay, Delver is the best creature against us, because we cannot block it with all our unblockers. Now I'm gonna play a nutrient block. Next turn I'm gonna play untap land into Fox. And on turn 4 I'm gonna slam my Chrysalis. Hope it resolve. Okay, another Brainstorm, so this is for sure. This is a clock, for sure. But every food gains, it's basically a fog for a Delver of Secrets. So just one Delver is not the hardest clock. And if they ever tap out, could slam a Chrysalis, and then it's hard for them to overcome the Chrysalis. Because they could tap that one, but they tap the Chrysalis, attack for 3, I gain 3 life back, and eventually they run out of cards in the graveyard, and they need to spend 3 mana every turn to do that. Serpents are not gonna work because I have Chum blockers for days, I think. Especially if I found a cat, which seems to be impossible with this deck, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I take 3. Are they gonna play something? They're thinking about playing something, so they have a counter spell in hand. And they're gonna probably pass and cycle the Tolarian at the end of turn and keep counter spell up. They're just gonna try to Cryptic to enter. Okay, Altar would be good. No Altar for me. I'm gonna play the Clockwork Fox because that's the best use of my mana. I could have tried to go for Lembas into Cat. That's a consideration. I'm gonna block with my Clockwork Fox, I think. I don't know. Maybe just take it because I don't want them to draw 2 cards, a card right now. Next turn I'm gonna play my Chrysalis. They're gonna counter it, probably, most likely. And I'm gonna chum block. Yeah. I'm gonna chum block next turn, I think. They could slip off the dead Clockwork Fox forever, and I'm not gonna ever draw cards with my Clockwork Fox. But even if they do that, they basically tap out for the rest of the game. I don't know if that's a good way to approach this game. They have just 1 card in hand, 2 cards, and they decline to use the Ponder's ability, so they found the goodies with Ponder. Another Serpent. If they go for another Serpent, I'm gonna slam the Chrysalis. If I had a cat, I would have gone for the Altar, but I do not have a cat. I'm gonna play the Chrysalis and lose to... Yeah, but Altar doesn't really do anything on this board. Let's do like this. Okay, do we have Force Spike? They don't seem to have a Force Spike, because if you have Force Spike, you slam the Force Spike here. But at the same time, they are considering... Okay, so it seems like... Nice. Now, I think this is very good, because now they are gonna tap out the Chrysalis every other turn to keep bashing in with the Insectal Aberration. Okay, they have 3 cards in hand now. One is an island, so basically 2 cards in hand. 1 counter spell in the graveyard, good for me. Another Chrysalis is unbeatable now, I think. Unless they have a counter spell for the Chrysalis. Oh, Dim Inferior. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that. Second from the top. Okay, good for me, because now I'm gonna block with Clockwork Fox. Block like this. And with the Fox, I'm gonna draw into my Chrysalis. Another Dove of Secrets. Okay, and now I think I'm gonna resolve Chrysalis. Still no cat. Okay. Now I'm gonna make red mana tapping the Eldrazi Spawn, because if they go for the Force Spike, sacrifice the tap 1 in order to pay and have 1 more blocker out. And one day, which is not today, by the way, one day I'm gonna draw a cat, because I think I literally never saw a cat in all 3 games. Really something else. Now I need to crack this nutrient block, because they are gonna tap the Chrysalis. This doesn't flip. Okay, so I don't even need to do that. I just can go to 2 life. Pretty safe life points. Life count. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. Do I want to gain 3 life and draw a card? Yeah, I think so. Okay, block like this, gain 3 life, draw a card. Another Molten Gatekeeper. And I need 2 Myr Retrievers in order for these Molten Gatekeepers to do stuff. Okay, it's incredible. Let's try Ashnod's Altar, which it's probably going to be countered at this point because even, yeah, Annul it's going to work. And now if they flip, I lose the game, right? No, not true. Because now I'm gonna block these two and gain 3 life with Lembas. But now I'm 2 cards short. This is not gonna work. And I don't know. It's incredible. It's really incredible. Pass the turn. Your turn. I'm gonna block these two, gain 3 life. And at this point, I don't think I can win anymore because even if I draw an altar, it's not gonna work anymore because I don't have the cat, I don't have the altar. I need. Okay, this is oh no, that draw because they are gonna draw 3 cards and they will have 1 mana up. Okay, so let's block with the 2 spawns. I don't even need to gain 3 life, but to 8. Yeah, it's probably better to gain life points. So, oh no, yeah, this flips. So I'm forced to do that. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty frustrating match to lose, to be honest. Yeah, okay, draw 3 cards. Yeah, nice. Let's play the egg. If I draw altar into cat, altar into Myr, of course that's literally impossible. I'm drawing that, I think. This would have not worked anyways. Okay, so GG opponents. Just draw 1 card just to see what's on top of my deck. Nothing. Okay, impressive. Welcome to match number 2. Ooh, this is a mulligan again. No lands. Unfortunate. With this mana base, the Italian mana base, the Marza base, I think green mana is less important. So, okay, this is a keep and I could regret this. But I was saying it's very hard to keep a land with a hand with no green mana. But with this mana base, you could. Maybe you have the Drumlands and Myr Retriever or Fox, and eventually that will generate green mana. Okay, so this is familiars. Now we're gonna play Golden Egg. So basically, we now need to find a cat or 2 Myr Retrievers. Cat is out of the question because apparently they are not in the deck anymore. And we are gonna resolve the Ashnod's Altar because usually the only counter they play it's how's it called? Annul. I don't remember the name. Counter target spell which costs 2 or less. So this is gonna resolve. And now we need to find a cat. I'm gonna try a Tolarian win, see if I don't find a cat. Of course, I'm gonna play my Golden Egg first. I need to rush a little bit because once they have a familiar and the bounce land, they could start the loop pretty soon. Yeah, 2 familiars. And let's see if it's easier for them to assemble a 5-card loop or for me to find a single cat. Seagate Oracle for 1 mana, very good. And Snap, okay. Good play by them to not snap my plant token because Ashnod's Altar can counter that. Third familiar. Yeah, they're tapped out now. If I found a cat, I could try to win the game. I want to try to win the game right now. So I'm gonna go all in on stuff. Okay, I could play Tolarian wins and in response another Tolarian wins, which basically means mill 4 cards and then draw 4 cards. This way, it's pretty likely I find a cat, and at that point, oh no, it doesn't work because if I use these 2 for blue mana, then I don't have foods anymore. Yeah, I need to find another food, right? So let's say I play Holdout Settlement. Oh no, I go to 0 mana. No, it doesn't work. So I think I'm just gonna try like this because I think I could easily die next turn. So draw 4 cards. But I could Malevolent Rumble and I'm gonna do that. What's this card? I never saw one in my entire life. Okay, if I take, I don't have enough mana to win this turn. No point in. Okay, so I take the land. But I have 4 mana. I sacrifice the token. I play the Golden Egg. I have 4 mana now. I play the Fox. Yeah, let's try to go for it. Question is, do I Molten Gatekeeper before I start doing things? No, then I don't have enough mana to do stuff. I need to draw into some nutrient blocks. Yeah. Familiar, ping for 1. 4 mana, go for the Fox, and I need this Fox to deliver. Okay, nice. First of all, I'm gonna go for the Lembas because it's free. And you shuffle it back so it deals 1 damage and you have a free scry. Okay, so scry 1, very good. Another 3 mana, 4, 5 mana. I need another Myr to win the game, basically. So at this point, if I reanimate the Molten Gatekeeper now... No, I don't have enough mana. Okay, this is useless, but... Reanimate the Molten Gatekeeper and start pinging them, because maybe I don't find a second Myr, but I find 10 foods. But with this end, I don't think it's likely to do this. Okay, so at this point, I probably go for the Golden Egg and Molten Gatekeeper, because chances, I think it's reasonable now. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I make red mana, I reanimate this one, and then I have 3 mana, right? Because this is +1, I take back the... I like that. Let's try. Sacrifice the cat. And go for the free Lembas. And now every Lembas is 2 damage. Oh, I don't want another altar. Go for the ramen. Draw 1 card. Not great. Okay. Go for the Myr. I don't have another Myr, right? No. So now I'm gonna sacrifice the Myr. Take the nutrient block. 1 more mana. Play the nutrient block. Sacrifice it and can find another Myr. Oh, nice. Now we go for the loop. And they're gonna concede probably. Usually familiar players... concede because they are the one making loops, so they know how bad it is to make the loop, and once they realize, they usually concede. But no, it seems like they don't want to concede. Okay, so now let's just click fast. Okay, so they do concede. Nice. No, they don't concede, they go to 0. Okay. Okay, so game 2, I'm gonna put some recommissions in because they have counters for my altar. I could play some spell bombs, and that's it. I think I'm gonna cut some ramen and 1 fox. Yeah, I wanna try like this. I'm not gonna play the spell bombs. Not sure if it's right. Not sure if it's right, but I think we need to be fast, because even though they don't make the loop, if they draw a lot of cards, then you don't win anymore. So I just want something to resolve my altar, to force through with my altar. As I said at the intro of the video, I am cutting some goodies, but also recommission, it's an egg, it's a food, it's a fox. So it's not like I'm diluting the deck that much. So let's try if it works. And it's incredible what this deck can do when it finds a cat. Ooh, 2 cats. But no, I think I'm gonna keep this end, because I have 7 draws, 7 looks at a land. This is not a land. Next turn I have a draw for turn and Ancient Stirrings. And it's pretty unlikely they are gonna counter Ancient Stirrings, even though they could have a counter. Let's see, if I skip my land drops and they counter the Stirrings, we could be in trouble, but I don't like to play that scared. Okay, yeah, so there's a land and any order, that's fine. Not the best land. One of the drum lands would have been great, because we could have played the familiar this turn, but... Next turn we are gonna play Rumble into, hopefully, land into Cauldron Familiar, and that would be... okay, this is useless. Why do they still have this card in the deck? Probably, maybe they play the... Oh no, another cat, it's awful. Maybe they have the tap 4 creatures and draw... Okay, unfortunately my recognition is gone. Black mana, I'm my cat. Next turn I could slam an altar and try to combo and start the chain. And game 2 it's harder to resolve an altar, because they don't just have the counter target spell, which costs 2 or less. They also have some number of annuls, so it's harder. Oh, Prohibit. Prohibit, it's the name of the card. Okay, if they just have Prohibit, easier. If they have, it's harder to resolve an altar, but we could find another altar or a recommission. Basically now we have like other 5 altars, right? Because 3 altars and 2 recommission. And we have Myr Retriever, and this deck doesn't have a way to kill the Myr Retriever, which is something I'm struggling with, because I would like to have some ways to kill the Retriever. I don't find a reasonable way to fit something in. You could play Disputes. Okay, bounce the cat, okay. You could play Disputes, but then mid-combo they are very bad, because remember, in this deck, Dispute costs 4 mana, because it's 2 mana plus you sacrifice a food, which is 2 mana, so basically it's like spending 4 mana for a draw 2, which is not great. I tried Desert, the land that pings for 1, in order to kill Myr Retriever. It's something you could try. I'm gonna play the altar now if they have annul, because if I pass, they first of all they could or similar, and second they could also have Prohibit, which at that point costs 3 mana to counter the altar, and now it's just annul or bust. No, negate, no annul, sorry. Yeah, let's do like this and keep black mana up in order to play the Cauldron Familiar. Oh, very nice. Tap this one. Play the Cauldron Familiar. Do we start the combo? Yeah, I think so. Oh, no. I mistook. Okay. I'm gonna sacrifice the Lembas in response to his own ability because I would love to draw the same Lembas with its own ability. No, I would love to not draw that card. Oh, and you see. Okay, so it's basically 1 damage for free. I would love to like this for 18 more iteration and win the game this way. Unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen, but that would be nice. Okay, so Fox, now it's a little bit strange because I could go for the Fox and try to kill them this turn. If I succeed, then nice. But if I don't, giving them 1 more card once they have their familiar out, it's... I could draw the Fox and go for it. I could draw the Fox, play it and pass the turn. I could put the Fox on the bottom and do something else. Honestly, all the 3 are reasonable. I don't think I'm gonna win this turn anyways. So probably the best thing to be doing is the coward move. Take the Fox, play the Fox. But it doesn't even make sense to play the Fox because then I waste 1 mana, right? I sacrifice 2 things. No, I just take the Fox and pass the turn. They don't have the second white mana and they just play 1 plains. So that means that it's pretty hard for them to dust to dust. And I don't even have 2 artifacts, so it's impossible for them to dust to dust. They don't usually play 2 mana exile an artifact, so I think the altar is pretty safe. So that's another reason to not play the Clockwork Fox, because sometimes familiars play dust to dust. I think a reasonable shot at winning the game, if we survive, of course. Okay, so let's say they now go for another familiar and land, and they... Yeah, but even if they start the loop this turn, they just have 1 card. It's pretty hard for them to have more than 1 counter. And once you have an altar out, not all that soft to counter spells. Of course, if they counter my Fox and my Myr Retriever, maybe I am stuck, but they have Revoke Existence. Wow. Okay, that's pretty bad for us. Okay. Wow. I'm not even sure why do they play that card anymore. Now it's pretty bad because Recommission doesn't work. Yeah, we just play Golden Egg, draw 1 card. Do we go for the altar? Then we are out of mana. If we go for the altar and they have the Snapcaster Mage, they grab back the Revoke Existence and it's pretty bad. But if we pass, they could have a counter spell up. I could try to play the altar and try to win, but it's not the easiest because then I just have 6 colorless mana. 6 colorless mana is not that bad because I just need the red. Okay, so I go to 5, 4 mana. Okay, so it's not unreasonable to... Let's say I play the altar. Oh no, I have... No, I just 4 mana. I don't think I'm gonna go for it this turn. Just play all the cats so that next turn I'm gonna have a lot of mana and see if my Ashnod's altar is gonna resolve. They don't seem to have the 2 mana counter. Oh, so it was good to not play the altar. Now they're gonna play take snap probably. And they are gonna snap the Chancery and snap the Archaeomancer so that they have 4 mana up. Yeah, basically it all comes down to, do you have a counter in hand? Because if you don't, you're probably going to lose this turn. Oh, they bounce the cat. Oh, because they have, yeah, they have Ephemerate. So now they can start the loop. This feels like an Ephemerate to me. Oh, Ghostly Flicker. Okay, basically if they take back that one, okay. And if they counter, they win. And if they don't, they lose. I think that's it. Oh, they take the snap again? No, they can do more. They can do more, okay. They snap the cat. Not that bad. Yeah, and they probably have a counter now because they drew 6 cards, 6 extra cards this turn, right? Because Muldrifter plus Blink, yeah, 6 cards, 7 cards with a... yeah, pretty hard for them to not have a counter. But good news is they need to have... Okay, not much I can do here. Let's play the altar and hope. And this is where Recommission could have been good. If they counter the Ashnod's altar, I could Recommission it back and do something. They don't seem to have a counter because... Oh, they could Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer and Muldrifter. And no, but at that point they don't have... No, they could Flicker, Muldrifter and Island. and hope to find. That's what they're talking about. And that's probably good, right? Because oh, they blink Ghostly Flicker. Oh, they blink the Archaeomancer, and they take the snap. They want to snap my cat. Okay, so they are trying to go after my mana, it seems. Snap Archaeomancer, and maybe they have negate, and now we lose. Yeah, I could go to second main phase, and now they start the loop, and we will never win it. Ashnod Altar. No point in playing. Okay, let's go to game 3. Pretty good end on their part, because they basically have had all the pieces. So the bounce lands, the familiar, snap to make some mana, and the Archaeomancer, and Ephemerate. To be honest, they don't really, probably they didn't need both Ephemerate and Ghostly Flicker to win this game. Probably one was sufficient, but they basically had all the pieces. And it strikes me how that deck works so well, because those are a lot of pieces to have, and most of them are 2-off, 1-off, and stuff like that, but they seem to always have it. And I need to mulligan this one. I need to also mulligan this one. Nice. Okay, I will keep this one. Oh, and they also need to have the way to exile my thing. Okay, put back this one and this one, probably. Yeah, the Fox is a way to recover from my mulligan, but they also mulligan to 5. And I really need to find a land with these Ancient Strings, because if I do, then I Malevolent Rumble and go from there. And they mulligan to 4 cards. This hand lacks a lot of things, because I have my foods, I need Altar and 2 lands. A lot of things could go wrong for me. Okay, we have the land, but unfortunately the cat is on the bottom of my deck, so there could be an argument to go for Lembas before I go for Malevolent Rumble, in order to shuffle back the cat before I Malevolent Rumble, but now that I have Molten Gatekeeper, I don't think I need to do that. So let's go for Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, I have all the combo, because I have 3 mana now, and I just need an altar now, and basically I have everything I need. Okay, so a slow start for them. That's the altar. Do I want to play it in the phase of the 2 mana removal spell? They also have negate. No, I think I'm gonna play my Lembas. You know, I would love to find another land. This is not a land, but this could be a land. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to keep this one. It's bad to skip my land drops. My land drop now, but third land drop for them. I prefer to play around the remote. Yeah, of course. Of course they have it. And just earrings. May I have a land? They have a counter, probably. Play Nutrient Block and pass the turn. I could play Lembas, but I use my Lotus Petal to find a land. Doesn't seem all that great. Yeah, Bounce Lands, it's very good because it's 2 cards in 1. And they have 2 wet mana now. Let's try like this. If they have a way to exile it, I can Lembas into maybe another land and play another one. And if they have another answer to my Ashnod's Altar, then so it be it. Okay, Meeting of Minds. And they have a million cards in hand, and now we are not favorite anymore. I cannot play another creature out. I play Myr and they counter the Myr, and we never have black mana to play Cauldron Familiar. I could sacrifice this one and try to go to this card slowly. I don't think let's play this Myr Retriever. Hope this resolve. Remove soul. Nice. Yeah, again, pretty frustrating match to lose again, because yeah, second wall, because why not? And now this land, it's good, but a little bit too late, probably. So just say Lembas, because nothing else I could do. I could cycle this one, but might as well scry. Yeah, now I don't have the second Myr anymore. Basically 2 draws, because Cauldron Familiar represents a draw once I sacrifice the Nutrient Block. Okay. Make a creature. Make black mana. Play the Cauldron Familiar. Okay, so let's see. Do I sacrifice the Lembas in order to shuffle back into my library? I don't think so. I think I would prefer to stockpile some mana, because it's very hard for them to win this exact turn. If I found a Myr Retriever, no, that's not enough, because I don't have blue mana. I don't have red mana for the Molten Gatekeeper. In theory, I could win if I take the Golden Egg and go for the Golden Egg into another Myr Retriever. Is it good, or is it better to go for the Lembas? Probably better to go for the Lembas, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna do like this. Sacrifice this one. I'm gonna play this Lembas. I'm gonna sacrifice it before I draw. I want to shuffle the other back in the deck because I want to stockpile some mana, but also I want to threat dance deck. Snap on what? On the cat. Okay, so they want to exile my graveyard, it seems. Yeah, I don't think it's... Do this again. They have 4 cards in hand, and if I survive this turn, I'm probably gonna win next turn. I don't think I'm going to win this turn. I have 2 draws this turn. 1 scry and 2 draws. A scry draw and a draw, and it's hard for me to win this turn. First of all, they could have something to stop me. Second, I need to draw the perfects. But next turn, it's... Yeah, I don't have... red mana also, so I think I'm gonna take it. Now I think I'm gonna sacrifice the fox because it's not unreasonable now to win the game this turn. Yeah, you're gonna draw 1 more card and... I don't think I'm gonna play the Ashnod's Altar because maybe they have the 3 mana exile 2 artifacts. Okay, so next turn I'm gonna represent a win because I'm gonna play Molten Gatekeeper, Recommission back a Myr, and I have an infinite loop. If they have a way to stop me, I sacrifice all the things, I make some mana, and I Tolarian wins. Okay, so they exile my... Okay, so they probably have Traven Charm. And they are trying to go after my Cauldron Familiar in order to make me lose all my foods. And once I sacrifice my last food, they go for... So the Myr Retriever loop is not even that good anymore. I'm gonna go for it anyways. Okay, so red mana. White mana. Okay, now I pass the turn, and they seems to be a little flat out. If they blank another turn, I'm gonna go for Tolarian wins, and at this point it's pretty likely for me to win. If they have another counter, we delay the things by 1 more turn, which is, I think, another altar is not the best. Do I play my land? No, I want to draw 3 cards. Snap on what? Okay, is it even that bad? No, I draw 1 more card. I discard it and then I reanimate it. Okay. I'm not even... I don't think it's even that... Yeah. I sacrifice this thing and try to go for the kill now. Red mana. So now Myr Retriever is little. Recommission is little. Many foods are little. Traven Charm. Okay. So they add the Traven Charm. And now I'm gonna... try to save my yeah, so Myr is not little anymore, but it's still good. Okay, this is not okay. This one costs 0 mana, and might as well take this one. I don't think the other card does anything for me, so take this one. And do I play the Molten Gatekeeper now? That's it. Your turn. You have 1 card in hand, so you're basically empty-handed. Now I have 24 cards in the deck. 4 of them are Lembas. Okay, that's very, very good for them. If they exile my altar, it's very good for me because I have another one. This does nothing because they have infinite mana. Okay, this is... And now I don't even think I sacrifice my cat. I use the one in the graveyard because if they have another way to exile my graveyard, then... Okay. Basically, now I just need to find a fox to go up on cards. This is not good. Yeah, this one is fine. Use this 3 damage and draw a card and make 1 mana, which is very, very good. And also another Myr is now little. Recommission it's good now. And every egg it's 2 damage and cycle, which is great. Draw 1 card. As I said, recommission it's better than the rest now. No, let's stop this one. The Myr is better, right? Yeah, because it's 1 more damage. And now they go to... They are basically at 5. They are at 3 because I have another food. Okay, so 2 foods now. And I'm on full control. I don't really know why. Sometimes Magic Online gives you the full control and for whatever reason. Okay, I think we won. Oh, nice. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to win this. They flooded out a little bit. Okay, and that's it. And GiorgioCombo wins the match. Welcome to match number 3. We are on the play with a keepable end, which is not the best, but I think a keepable one. Okay, so Tolarian wins here. It's probably end up being better than Drafna's restoration because cycle all the stuff I have in hand eventually if if I don't find the pieces I need. I don't think this is the mirror match, but imagine how fun it is if this is actually the mirror match. But probably it's not. This is probably the pestilence deck. In fact, 2 swamps. Yeah, of course. Oh, no. I don't want to skip my turn. Okay, thank you. In fact, I want to play my golden egg and maybe draw a land. May I draw a land? No, I don't. We are doing a pretty good job of never drawing what we need in this league, it seems. Okay. Lembas, you are using my technology against me. Okay, Gogari Rot Farm. Okay, we need lands. Still no land. And may I draw a land, please? No, I don't. And now I go to discard. Nice. I could discard the Molten Gatekeeper, but also I don't think I need to Tolarian Winds because it's basically impossible to make use of the second one you have in hand, so probably better to discard. Good news is Enchantrings will probably find us the third land. Bad news is Enchantrings we need to find the altar. So okay, so now they kill the plants. Okay, so if I go for Malevolent Rumble, I make a token that which it's soon going to die. Okay, so if I see a land and an altar, I'm gonna take the altar. And if I... yeah. No land and no altar. Your turn, opponent. Yeah. We could block because they are going to pestilence anyways. But, okay, take one. I don't think it's relevant. Maybe they don't want to pestilence and maybe the plants ends up being useful. It's not like 1 damage is gonna change things that much, right? Okay, let's see if we can find a land or an altar. Altar is out of the question. But at least we have a land now. So now we are gonna... Do we even play the Cauldron Familiar? Because pass the turn and next turn Tolarian wins away all this good stuff. Yeah, but if they pestilence away our creature, then we don't have blue mana. So I think we need to play the cat. And we have 3 foods out, so it's not like they are gonna exile the Cauldron Familiar. I think it's pretty hard for them to do that. A good pestilence now for 1. Yeah. Okay. Okay, question for next turn is, do we Tolarian Winds away all this, or we play the Fox and take it slower? Probably we are not under a lot of pressure. This is 4-8. Not entirely true, because this kills pretty fast, right? Because they attack for 1. No, they attack for 2. Pestilence for 3, and then 4 is 7, 11. Yeah, I think we should hurry a little bit. And I could bring back the cat to block, but I don't want to do that. In fact, I want my cat to be alive on my main phase in order to make blue mana with the Survivor's Encampment, so that I keep the golden eggs around and use the blue mana. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe we find an altar, and now we play the altar. And they are gonna pass in response, I think. It's a little bit unfortunate, because that means we are gonna lose 2 mana. But we could also just... yeah, pestilence for 1. And the altar, I think, is pretty safe. I don't think they have ways to remove it main deck. So are we gonna lose? No, I don't think so. If they pest for 2, we go to 10. Then bring the cat back, we go to 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a black land. No, I think I think we could just pass the turn. Next turn probably win the game. Okay, so I play this. Yeah, I could generate 6 mana this turn. No, I think I'm gonna pass. Life, it's not relevant, I think. If they attack, I'm not gonna block. They're probably going to pestilence my plant away anyways, but I don't think 2 damage is really relevant because I'm trying to win on my next turn. Okay, so 5 mana, it's... Troll of Khazad-dûm. So they are tapped out. Okay, so they can't even pestilence. Oh no, they can pestilence. Okay, but they choose to not do that. Okay, so 2 more mana for me. Very nice. Okay, how do I want to do that? I'm gonna take... So I could take red mana and play this one in order to have it up 2 times. Yeah, I think I kinda like that. So I sacrifice this one. I Malevolent Rumble because it's free. I take this one. I play the land. I make blue mana now. I sacrifice spawn token. I play the Gatekeeper. Now I bring back my cat and ping for 2. Okay, they gain 2 life, which is not relevant. I don't think they play Snuff Out, right? Now I sacrifice this one. I sacrifice Michael J. Fox. Draw 2 cards. Now I play my Myr Retriever. Sacrifice my Myr Retriever. Get back Nutrient Block because I want to go up on mana. nutrient block for 2 with a cat. Yeah. Sacrifice this one. Go for the fox. Sacrifice the fox. Make infinite damage. And if somehow they have a way to stop this thing, I can just Tolarian wins and win the game. But I don't think I need to do that, because I don't. If they have stuff out, they are gonna snuff it out. Okay, and then go see. So when it comes to the sideboard, they are gonna have Duress and Oath. I could bring in Recommission, because if they Duress away the altar, I could bring it back. I could see that. But at the same time, that's not great if they have... they usually have a lot of ways to interact with my graveyard, so I think I'm just gonna resubmit and hope to find more altars than they have Duresses for. Okay, this is a strong hand, but of course a Duress is gonna make it things harder. And also we need a cat. Yeah, play Nutrient Block. Your turn, opponent. On my turn 2, I'm gonna play my Lembas. When I play against this kind of decks, I usually don't like to play my So Ramen is not great per se, but they have a lot of ways to interact with my graveyard, so another food is another way to save my... I was trying to say, I usually don't like to play my Cauldron Familiar with just one food out, because sometimes they have, let's say, they have a Spell Bomb, and they go cast down on the Familiar, and then Spell Bomb, you bring it back, they cast it down again, you bring it back, they remove again, and sometimes they get you like that. I'm gonna pass the turn now. At the end of their turn, I'm gonna flash in Instant Ramen, and maybe on my next turn there was an argument to play the Cauldron Familiar, because if I play the Cauldron Familiar this turn, I could have gone for the win next turn, but there are a lot of pressure, so... And it's pretty hard for them to not kill the Myr Retriever. Okay. Now I'm gonna play the egg and the familiar, and this means next turn I'm gonna... Oh, this is pretty nice, because even at duress now... What the hell I'm doing? I don't have creatures out. I needed to play the Myr. Okay. Okay, so let's say a little bit more focused. Now I need to... Next time I'm gonna play Myr and Cauldron Familiar, I think. Bad news is, if I play Myr and they kill it, I don't have artifacts in the graveyard, and I'm gonna waste one Myr, but... Okay, so now I'm gonna play the Fox instead. So that if they... First of all, the Fox costs more mana. And second of all, if they kill the Fox, I draw some cards. They draw 2, but I don't think their cards are really relevant. Unless they find 2 duress, next turn I'm most likely going to win. And I have a million foods out, so it doesn't seem likely that they're gonna exile my familiar. Also, it may not seem so, but I have a lot of draws, because 3 nutrients blocks and a Clockwork Fox mean 5 cards drawn, plus the drawn from my turn is 6, plus Myr Retriever for Fox is 8. So a good chance, pretty good chance I'm gonna win next turn. And I also have 1 colored mana in order to cast my blue draw spell. Pestilence is not so scary now. If they pest, I don't really care, because mana, but I have infinite mana, so... Okay, Rumble, it's... I'm not gonna start my Rumble... I'm gonna play my Ashnod Altar. Oh, do they have instant speed ways to kill my Ashnod Altar? Even if they do, I stockpile my mana, play my another Ashnod Altar, and go from there, so I don't think it's gonna work. They could Pestilence away my Cauldron Familiar, but again, it's just 2 mana, so... They cast down the Fox. Yeah, it's the same. They are tapped out, but sometimes they play Fairy Macabre. Okay, how do I want to do that? First things first, I think the best way to start things is to sacrifice this Lembas, because I want to have my Lembas in the deck, for I would love to draw more Lembas. And I would like to have at least 1 or 2 foods out, because maybe they have like 2 Fairy Macabre. And remember, Instant Ramen is instant, as its name suggests, so... Now I'm gonna play this one and do the usual trick. Sacrifice it, sacrifice the cat in response, sacrifice the Lembas in response, and scry 1. I don't need a Survivor's Encampment, but I drew 1 anyways. And yeah, I think I'm gonna cash in my other nutrient block. Okay, not bad. I think I'm gonna cast my Molten Gatekeeper, because I still have call red mana, make red mana. And as I said in the intro, if you have many partings, and at this point maybe you have Swamp, but you need red mana, or the other way around. With Survivor Encampments type card, you always have the right color of mana. I think it's very, very important. Let's play the Myr Retriever, because if they try to exile my graveyard, in response I can cash in my Myr Retriever, and I think that could be good. Let's draw some cards. Lembas is good, and now I'm not gonna bring back the cat in, do the Lembas thing beforehand, because that way I have more foods out. I want a forest. Okay, so this is a win if they don't have anything, and I take the fox, because if they do have anything, I prefer to draw more cards. Okay, and now I show them my loop. If they interact somehow, they don't. Nice, GiorgioCombo wins the match. Welcome to match number 4. We are playing against Plutarco, which is a ancient Latin man. It's strange he's still playing Magic today. And this hand is a mulligan, unfortunately. And this hand it's a keep. And okay, so we are not gonna put back Malevolent Rumble nor Nutrient Block. Question is, do we put back Clockwork Fox or Molten Gatekeeper? Because with Gatekeeper, when Myr and Altar it's a combo, while Fox is a card advantage mechanism. I am not sure. I'm probably going to put back Molten Gatekeeper, but yeah, not really sure, to be honest. Okay, let's try like this. This is Spy deck. Okay, Fox is very good versus Spy, because if they have 0 card in your library and you kill the Fox, then they need to draw a card, and they cannot refuse to do that. So Nosagul Wildling, 2, 3, 4, 5 card. Okay, so here's the Altar. Okay, let's see if we can safely reach turn 4. Because if we do, we are in fine shape, I think. Okay, if I Khalni Garden. Next turn I play Khalni Garden. Next turn I could play Ashnod Altar into Fox. Okay, that's pretty good. So at this point, do I even need the Khalni Garden? Because I'm gonna play the Altar with the Malevolent Rumble token. So probably more digging it's better. Again, not completely sure if this is right. But remember, I can also draw a card with my Cauldron Familiar in the graveyard, because I can sacrifice my Nutrient Block. Okay, Wall of Roots, strong card. Also strong card. But they still have at least 2 lands in the deck, I guess. So it's probably a winning way now. But they don't have a Spy as far as I know. Okay, no, they are untapping before initiative and lead a stampede. Okay, so a Spy is good for them and a Vandal is good for them. But okay, so now they have the Vandal. So if I play Ashnod Altar and I do not win, it's not great. But the problem is, if I don't go for it, then next turn, if they winning way into the Spy, they win. I don't think it's likely that I'm going to win this turn, so I'm probably just going to play my Lembas and try to win next turn, because this turn it's basically impossible. But if I play Lembas, I think it's reasonable for me to win next turn. Yeah, because I play Khalni Garden, next turn I untap, I have, let's see, next turn they have 3 mana. Yeah, but they still have a land in the deck. They could double Spy, they could Spy themselves, because they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, they could, yeah, they have a lot of mana to do everything they want. It's basically defend a Spy, they win the game. So is it more mana if I play the Cauldron Familiar, I guess? Yeah, because the Cauldron Familiar is +2 mana next turn with 1 red, and with 1 black. No, it's better to play the Lembas for sure. Okay, I don't need another one of these. Okay, yeah, your turn. Here I go. If you have a Spy, you win the game. Okay, so they have the last land in hand. Okay. And here's the Spy. Unfortunate. And basically it all came down to them finding the mass bundle plus the Spy, of course, in 20 cards, which is not impossible. Okay, let's just see their deck. I'm pretty sure I know the list, but okay, so they have Mesmeric Fiends, Elves of the Deep Shadow. They don't seem to have the initiative card. Okay, for lands, of course. How many Vandals do they play? They have 1 in hand. Okay, so they have 1 in hand plus 1. Okay, so they just play 3 and they had 1. Okay, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna cut 2 instant ramen. I'm gonna cut Fox is good though. I'm not sure what I need to cut. Probably the Tolarian wins, right? Because I could just Molten Gatekeeper loops. Let's try like this. Krark-Clan Shaman is also good because they have Mesmeric Fiends, so it's also a way to kill the Mesmeric Fiends, which is relevant. Also, the previous game being on the draw was the deciding factor. And again, another mulligan. Yeah, this is a keep, and I'm probably going to put back a land. I don't think I need another nutrient block. Might as well take the third land, because if I don't find the third land, then I cannot cast my altar. So let's hope to find it soon here. And they again kept 7 cards. Both games they mulligan to 6 last game. Okay, meaning the Altar Tron Familiar is nice. I don't need other eggs, so I'm going to take the Myr Retriever, because once I have my engine going, the Myr Retriever is whatever I milled. I don't think they side in. They play Fairy Macabre in the. I'm not gonna play around that. Okay, so again they have the Battlement. Let's see if we can manage to find the altar now. We've seen 16 extra cards, and no. Yeah, we could play Myr in order to have the loop. That's only relevant if we find the altar, of course. Yeah, but the fox does nothing without the altar, right? No, I think I just need to take the fox, because if I find Krark-Clan Shaman, then I can have fox plus Shaman. Okay, play the cat, and your turn, opponent. And on my turn, I'm gonna draw a card with my nutrient block by reanimating the Altar Tron Familiar. Okay, at the time they have all the lands plus Battlement and Roots. So they have all the mana. Basically, they just need to find the last land and a spy. But they also, it's not true, they don't necessarily need the black land. They can just mill themselves and then reanimate the spy and mill again. Let's see if we can find the altar. The answer seems to be, let's draw a card. And we saw like 20 cards plus the 7, like 25 cards, and no Myr Retriever and non Krark-Clan Shaman, so I think we are gonna lose this match now. Do we play the Myr Retriever? No, we do play the golden egg. Let's hope they don't have the spy. Basically, that's it, right? Yeah. So Lembas series, yeah, Rumble, it's good if we survive. And next time we are probably going to win, because I do not see myself not finding altar again. Then I cast altar, Myr, Molten Gatekeeper, and at that point I just need another Myr Retriever, which seems pretty easy to achieve at that point. And here's a spy. And again, you have everything. Yeah. Do they mill another Dredge return? Yeah. So they need another creature? No, they have everything they need. Okay. Not even a spell bomb. Pretty unfortunate to be honest. Oh, they had another spy land. Okay. No Krark-Clan Shaman, no spell bomb, no. And 0 cards in the deck, and you win. Okay. GG, opponent. Okay, welcome to the last match. This time we have the combo in hand. We just need black mana to cast the cat, or to mill a cat with Malevolent Rumble. And Steerings and Rumble will probably provide what we need. Okay, do we take the land? Yeah, I think it's safer to take the land. On turn 2, we could Malevolent Rumble, but if they kill the... if they know what's up and they kill the token, then I don't have a way to make black mana for the Altar Tron Familiar. But at the same time, if I don't cast Malevolent Rumble, they probably going to counter the Rumble next turn, maybe with a Spell Pierce, so I'm gonna do like that. I'm not showing the Encampment because it's pretty unlikely they kill the token now. Do we take the egg? Yeah, I think it's... I could take the fox, but is a way to cast... No, let's take the fox. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna kill my token. Also, fox generate black mana with the Encampment, so... Now that they are tapped out, I'm gonna play altar next turn. If they have Spell Pierce, then okay. They have a Spell Pierce. I don't think they play for Spike, but if they do, I'm gonna pay for it. Okay, very, very nice. And now we are in a pretty good spot, because we have Altar Tron Familiar, which is gonna be online very, very soon. And we have a lot of foods to eat. Okay, so they mill 2 cards, snuff out. As I said, they're not gonna kill the Eldrazi spawn with snuff out. And even if they do that, we can just play the Clockwork Fox. Sneaky Snacker is in, and Tolarian Terror is in. They are tapped out, and it's my time to shine. So first of all, let's make black mana. I must say the Marzaboi is really, really nicely as of now. I could play this land. I could not play this land because maybe I discard this one with Tolarian Winds. Who knows? Probably better to do like this, because they have an instant speed way to exile the Altar Tron Familiar. I could flash in the Ramen. I know it's game 1 and this is not going to happen, but just to showcase how to play around stuff. Probably I could have done it anyways. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. Now I'm gonna play Lembas again. I'm gonna sacrifice it. Now I just need to generate a little bit of mana. This is a cycle, so I think it's good. I want to draw, all I want to draw now is Nutrient Blocks and Clockwork Fox, and Myrs also counts. Okay, sacrifice this one and play Nutrient Block. Now I make blue mana. Go for the Fox, because the Fox now draws 4 cards, right? 2 cards, and then I'm gonna use Tolarian Winds. So it's basically like plus 4 cards. Very, very good. Okay, let's just cycle the instant Rammer Fox. I don't know if I have enough mana to do that. Probably I do, because I have, and yeah, I'm probably going to. Okay, Nutrient Blocks. What I want to find. Oh, this is a Nutrient Block. Pretty nutrient, I have to say. So +1 mana. Yeah, now I go for the Fox. And they are at 11. Yeah, let's go again for Lembas, so that they go to 10. And Myr Retriever is nice. I just... Okay, probably I should go for Rumble, because Rumble it's free. Basically, it costs 2 mana and it gives 2 mana back. I use 1 green mana, but there's no green spells I have in the deck except for Rumbles and Steerings, and Rumbles are better, so might as well use it. And yeah, Myr Retriever is... So now I'm gonna use 1 Retriever and Nutrient Block to 1 card, and I think finally showcasing the usefulness of Tolarian Winds, because very likely that we are gonna win on turn. Do we take the Fox here? Because we have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We can go to 6. Yeah, we can. So let's take the Fox. I think we have enough mana. I think. Yeah. Okay. Now Tolarian Winds and cycle all these dead cards into nice new cards. And now we are gonna Lembas our way to victory, I think. No, I don't want this one. Oh, Canada Lembas is very nice. So they are at 4, and I have 4 draws, 3 draws plus 2 scry. So it's very likely they are gonna lose. Could also, oh, I also have a Rumble. So yeah, pretty likely they are gonna lose now. No, I don't want this one. Okay, Lembas is very, very nice. And by the way, I'm at 35. They are at 2, and probably Rumble is going to draw into a food, so very likely they are 1. So basically a food is little now. Is this little though? No, I don't think so. So let's draw a card. Okay. Another Lembas. It seems like I have infinite Lembas, which is actually true, because I looped the Lembas. Food for the win. This is not a food. Okay, let's Rumble into a food, and yeah, Lembas it's gonna do. And this is a turn 4 kill. I think we had been a little bit unlucky in this league. That's what I was talking about when I said, okay, I want to play Tolarian Winds in the deck, because for that reason. Okay, we don't need to kill on turn 4 versus this exact deck, but imagine we had been on the play on the previous match versus the Spy deck. That was a hand that could have easily won on turn 4 like this. So I think it's good to have a faster deck, because this deck it's a little bit inconsistent, and if you have a deck which is inconsistent and also lose to faster decks, it's not a very good deck. But if the deck is a little bit inconsistent, but when it does its thing, it's most of the decks, yeah, you can afford to lose some matches because the deck is a little bit inconsistent. And now we are gonna play 2 recommissions. The recommissions, we could play the Writhing Chrysalis, but I don't know if it's any good versus the blue-black deck, because they have removal spells, so they have less counters than the blue version and more removal. So I don't think the Chrysalis is the right plan. We could probably cut the Tolarian Winds, because we don't need to go fast. They don't have a way to remove the altar, so we can grind them out. And recommission, it's a cycling, it's another Fox, so it's a smaller Tolarian Winds, which is also good versus their. Let's see, we are here to try this. Unfortunately, we cannot keep this end because it's a 1-lander with no steerings. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to 5, honestly, because this end it's very, very good. I just need to find a land in 2 draws and less than 50%, but I don't think we are more than 50% if we go to 5. Your turn, and if we find a land, we are kind of golden, and of course not. Okay, we could go to discard in 2 turns and discard the familiar to draw them with Nutrient Block, but at that point we are we are dead, I think. Okay, so a little bit unfortunate, because if you think about it, if you have 17 lands plus yeah, no, it's a little bit too late, but 4 steerings and 17 lands, all that are to open a keepable end, I think. But of course, sometimes it happens in Magic. They have 5 cards in hand. If they flood a little bit, maybe we have a chance. Okay, I'm gonna go for the Rumble, and if they counter, I don't think it's even that bad. I already have Familiar and Altar, and they don't even know. Okay, now we need to rush things a little bit. A land would be good because I would slam the Altar. If not, I'm just gonna play the Golden Egg. And the turn after that, I'm gonna play the Cauldron Familiar in order to start blocking. Let's do this now because they are basically tapped out. Okay, annul. I could have gone for the instant ramen on their turn, but they have a lot of mana, so I'm not gonna make my artifacts pass through a 1 mana counter. Again, let's do like this. Oh no, I should not have 6 because if I draw a land, yeah, they have a million ways to counter artifacts, it seems, and I have a million cards to draw with are not lands. I go to 10 and next turn I'm dead. Okay, so I think this, oh, the Gurmag Angler, and we lose. Okay, this could have been winnable if I drew lands in a faster way. Yeah, let's try again because they have a lot of annuls and recommission is really good into that. Let's see if we can find a keepable end. Okay, this is a keepable end. I'm gonna play Nutrient Block on 1. I could play Retriever on 2, but if they kill it, not so great. I'm not even sure if they still have removals. There's a consideration to play Chrysalis because maybe with all that artifact counters, maybe they don't have removals anymore. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, so now we need a cat basically, and if they annul, I'm fine with that. And it's not like this, oh, they have a way to bounce my Ashnod Altar. I should be aware of that. Okay, if they have another 1 mana counter, rather, maybe they do, but it's not up this turn. Okay, and also Myr Retriever is very good versus them because they don't have Delvers, so it's hard for them to win without ground attackers. So now it's basically, do we find a cat before the end of time? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that, I'll be honest. Is it better to cycle the Nutrient Block here? No, you know what, it's better to play the Myr Retriever now that they are tapped out. Yeah, I use my mana. Okay, can I find a cat? No, I can't. And unfortunately it's on the bottom of the deck, and some people will tell me, oh, so you should not play Ancient Steerings because then you put cat on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, but the chances to draw your doesn't change. They don't change if you cast Steerings or not. Cat could be in the top 5 cards of the deck, or it could be in the 6th to 10th card, so it's basically the same. It's just unlucky when you need one and you put one on the bottom. If you see like 20 cards and you don't find one, it's just bad luck and that's it. They seem to have they are choosing not to use one. Okay, so now I have basically infinite blockers, unless they counter one of the Myrs, of course, but okay, now I'm gonna block, sacrifice the Myr, grab back my egg and cash in my Nutrient Block. Can I find a cat? No, I can't. Still no cat to be seen. Lembas, play Nutrient Block. Okay, so basically I have infinite ways to block because now I loop my Myrs, and so this terror is never going to attack unless they... okay, they are tapped out now, so if I find a cat, they have 1 mana up. Yeah, block this one. Sacrifice my Myr. Grab back the other Myr. Sacrifice my Nutrient Block to draw a card. Can I find a cat? No, I can't. I don't want to be repetitive, but can I find a cat? Now I do win the game with Molten Gatekeeper, right? Molten Gatekeeper, unless they have Snuff Out, and if they do, then okay. And GiorgioCombo wins the match. Okay, so sometimes you showcase a deck in a video and you got very lucky. The deck seems unbeatable, but just because you have been lucky. I think this is a pretty instructive video because I have been pretty unlucky, I think. Most of my opponents had pretty good hands. I basically never found a cat. I mulliganed a decent amount, but still I went 3-2. And the 2 matches I lost, I had been pretty unlucky. I think the deck is good, and this exact version of the deck I think is good. And most of the things that I said at the beginning of the video came true, if you think about it, because the Marza base, the Italian mana base, did wonders because I never had problems casting my black spells, and during the combo having a 5 color land was great. Tolarian wins made me win on turn 4 in a game. Other times I did not win with Tolarian wins on turn 4 or 5, but just because I had the Molten Gatekeeper loop. And in some of those games, if I didn't have the Molten Gatekeeper loop, or if they go for the, I don't know, kill the Molten Gatekeeper, I could have gone for the Tolarian wins. And this is particular, it's pretty good because let's say you 1 mana unearth the Molten Gatekeeper, they kill it, you sacrifice it, and then you keep going. You basically net 1 mana because you unearth for 1, sacrifice for 2. So even if they do that, you generate some mana and then you Tolarian wins and maybe you go on. And I think it's pretty good because it's just 3 slots in the deck. In order to play Tolarian wins, you just need to rework the mana base, but the mana base it's good. So it's not a huge cost. In fact, I think this mana base is probably better than the original one. And other than that, yeah, recognition has been good because if I think about it, I never beat counters with recognition, which is a good sign because if you play a card to beat counters and you beat counters with it, yeah, okay, that's good. But what's up when they don't have counters? Instead, I had recognitions in some spots in which they didn't have counter and recognition had been good. If the card is good when you are in a situation in which you are not planning to have the card for, then great, right? And another things that came true is I said Cauldron Familiar you need to combo out, but sometimes you don't find the Cauldron Familiar and you just win with Molten Gatekeeper, and this happened at least 2 times, maybe 3, I'm not sure, but at least 2 times. I think it's pretty reasonable. Maybe we could cut the instant ramen for 2 cash grab in order to find more Cauldron Familiars. Basically I think it all comes down on how much consistency do we want. Maybe some Matt can explain that. I will think about it in the future. But at the same time, Instant Ramen, it's better when you are comboing out because it's a card that you can cast for 0, cycle for 0, while green cards, you run out of colored mana pretty soon. So, I don't know. And when it comes to the sideboard, the cards are all great. I'm not sure how to sideboard, I'm not sure about the numbers, but yeah, I like Chrysalis, I like Krark-Clan Shamans, and Taddy did a pretty good work on this. Recognition, I think it's great. Maybe it's not needed, but I truly wanted to try it because, yeah, I kind of like the idea of a duress, which is very good during the combo. So that's it for today. I hope you liked this video, and again, thank you to Daddy99 for helping me developing this deck. And if you liked seeing me casting Tolarian wins and cycle through my hags, tell everyone about this video, and if you didn't, then okay, that's fine. Bye bye, see you next time.